Hey everyone, so this is my review of Riverdale, Season 3, Episode 5, called The Great Escape, and essentially what this episode is about is that Veronica devises this plot to be able to free Archie from juvie, and while it's going on, Betty races to try and save Jughead as he gets a bit too deep into his investigation. And this was a really great and interesting episode that definitely had a lot of really good moments to it, and I definitely did enjoy the sort of line that they were drawing in this episode, that a lot of what's happening into the game actually is also happening in reality, and just finding where that line merges and stuff was really interesting with how they chose to show it in this episode. With that, everything with Betty and her trying to sort of get Jughead to stop playing the game because of the fact of how addictive she realizes it is was really entertaining to see, and I really enjoyed how they chose to play that off and all that different stuff. And then just everything with how the game was shown and stuff with Jughead and some of the serpents playing it, and how they were very sort of agitated with how Jughead wasn't sort of moving forward in the game and stuff because he wasn't coming up with a new storyline for them to play. And then how he finally did come up with a storyline to play, and it just so happened to line up with the storyline of Veronica breaking Archie out of juvie. That was really fun to see. And then just everything with Veronica and her plot and stuff was interesting, with her finally realizing what's going on with Archie and why he's suddenly being so distant from her and all that, and how she discovers this sort of ingrown fighting ring and stuff. And then how she chose to sort of approach her plan to break him out and stuff was interesting, with her going to Reggie, Josie, and Kevin and having them sort of help out to make this plan go in motion and all this different stuff. But then the weird bits that I guess were trying to line up with the game and stuff was interesting, with them all of a sudden bringing Mad Dog essentially back from the dead and injuring Archie so he couldn't put up as much of a fight. And then how Hiram just happened to be there on the night that Veronica chose to try and put her plan into action and do all that different stuff. Like I said, was definitely weird with how they chose to show it all, but I definitely think it was just to try and line up with the game. And that was interesting. Then with how they actually did the whole ploy of getting Archie out of there and stuff was fun, with them using these homemade sort of smoke bombs to create a sort of like clouds so then Archie could escape through the sewers and stuff. And then just how they then did the ploy and stuff of deception, and then finally actually bringing Joaquin back into the real world and stuff was great, with how they chose to approach that, with it being a big distraction for Kevin. And then how everything turned out, and then with Josie, Kevin, and Reggie finally deciding like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on, so we're going to start playing the game too. And that was just really great with how that all played out, and I'm very interested to see how everything's going to turn out now that pretty much everyone's playing the game besides the main three of Betty, Veronica, and Archie. And then what they're going to do going forward with Archie now in hiding, I'm very interested to see, because of the fact that Fred has got to know at some point that, hey, my son got broken out of prison, and like what he's going to take on that, and just everything there I'm very excited to see. Then just overall, this was a really great episode, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do going forward now that sort of that line between the game and reality is becoming even more messed and mixed and stuff. It just makes for a really great sort of storyline that I'm very excited to see what they're going to do going forward. So yeah, that's my review of Riverdale, Season 3, Episode 5, called The Great Escape. So yeah, bye!